So I'm gonna make a quick video just because I ran into some issues today, and I think it's one of the most bull crap things that I've had happen to me. And it's gonna be a little bit of information about what's going on regarding AT&T, Cricket, OnePlus, or really any device that is not HD voice certified. I believe that's what it's called. And basically, if at any point if your phone just stops getting signal, this could be the reason. This is probably the reason if you're in AT&T in Cricket, which is a subsidiary of AT&T. Then just hear what I have to say. AT&T and Cricket are scumbags. They are full of crap. They are absolutely trying to get over on people, and they are not allowing people access to the network, not because their devices are incompatible, but because they want to use HD voice, whatever. Um, and I believe they also have, I don't know if HD voice is like their particular certification, but I believe there is another thing associated with them that you have to be certified to get. And it involves paying an amount of money to AT&T to be authorized to use it so that you can then technically be certified to be used onto their network. Now, does this utilize security related things? I doubt it. The reason why I doubt that is because of my personal experience. So, I have been a Cricket user for about 10 years now. I've been with Cricket for 10 years. That is soon to change. I kind of don't have no choice at this point. About 4 years ago, I purchased a OnePlus 6, which is a device from an internationally based company. I believe it's based in Shanghai. It's the Chinese, but it very much so is a very premium device. Now, this particular company is not under Huawei. It's not under any companies that are suspected of having Chinese affiliation with the military, anything like that. It's just a company. They make premium devices. They sell them to a bunch of different markets, and they try to make as much money as they can. But very good things about them. Their devices are, in my personal opinion, as well as others, considered like in the top. If you don't have Samsung or iPhone and you want something different, OnePlus is probably the phone you're gonna get outside of maybe a Google Pixel, right? So those are kind of like the top four in my hierarchy. Um, that being said, I've got that 4 or 5 years ago, whenever I got it. I know it was summer of 2018 when I got it, so I guess it's 4 years ago. Um, had that phone, took the SIM card out of my previous device, put it in there. I had previously had an iPhone, um, and worked fine, no issue whatsoever. Um, had that phone for about 3 years. Eventually, I started having issues with the calls on that phone. So I would I still had data, but basically, whenever I would try to like call somebody, I would run into like an issue where I couldn't hear them, or if I was like speaking, they couldn't hear me, but I could hear them. So I thought it was a problem with the phone. I'm pretty confident the phone just kind of it might have had water damage or something like that. Like, I'm a little bit, I don't want to say rougher with my phone. I'm just going to be honest, which typical people aren't. Sometimes you walk outside and it's raining. These phones are waterproof certified, to however much. So this isn't stuff that's really gonna like affect the phone. But it does get put through its paces in everyday life. Not that I'm out there standing in the rain or anything like that, but I'm just saying that yes, that this phone has been put through it. But it's not so much of anything that should cause the device to become not usable. I fast forward to 6 months earlier than where we're at right now. That's when I got this new device, which is the OnePlus 9 Pro premium device. The same SIM card that I took from that previous device, I put into the new OnePlus 9 Pro. The OnePlus 9 Pro worked for several pure like long time, basically up until last Thursday, which is it's May now, so I think that probably was like the 18th or something like that, right? So whenever roughly around like May 18th is this timeline right here. So I think today's the 23rd or 22nd. So this OnePlus phones have been working on AT&T's network for 3 years with little to no issue, right? I suddenly don't have any signal Thursday evening, and I'm trying to figure out why I don't have any signal. So I'm like, okay, let me just go around. I drove down to like my mom's way. I still don't have any signal. I restart the phone. I go through everything that I can think of. I even go into the SIM card settings and try to manually put in the credentials needed for the Cricket Wireless or AT&T's network. But basically, you can put in information that's specific to that network so that you can get access to it. The device will not connect. And I'm like, well, what the hell is going on? So Cricket, I just want to just say how awful their service is. Went to 3 stores in one day. Two of the stores were closed. The one open, the gentleman at the store basically he told me the correct information, but the way that he went about it was not informative so that I can make an educated decision for myself. He basically said that I bought a device that was incompatible with the network. Now, for you to say that to me while also me having the phone on the network for 6 months, that didn't make any sense, right? My device is not incompatible with the network. Cricket / AT&T above Cricket, which is its owner, proprietor, has decided that if you do not have HD voice, it will not allow your phone onto the network. So my iPhone, whichever previous devices that I had before then, was compatible with that compliance and allowed it to be used. I don't even know if it actually was. I just know that it's a popular enough device to where they couldn't really force people's hands to just upgrade / switch because it would have been a bunch of backlash. But without going into the store and the fact that I did it on my own, there wasn't necessarily a record on file that my device was something different. So I had full access to the network. And when I went to the store today, something that struck me interestingly is that they have full specifications as to what the device was previously that I owned, a file of the specific device number, a whole bunch of information that whether I think they need it or not, I prefer it if they didn't have access to that information because it can tie you essentially to that device, which I understand from like a police investigative standpoint, whatever. But I do think that it is an infringement on your privacy for them to have access to that information. But nonetheless, I bring my device that I've had for 6 months, and the information that they had on file was the previous device, which was the OnePlus 6. They disabled my phone because they had on record that it was a OnePlus 6, and that wasn't compliant to the current standard. And even when they updated the information from my device to the OnePlus 9 Pro, that wasn't compliant. So despite my phone being not just 3G, 4G, but also LTE and what is it, the VoLTE, whatever technology they have, it's a flagship phone. It runs on the GSM, the CD, whatever is a Sprint and Verizon, or I don't know this particular acronym, but I know that they run on a different type of band technology, right? My phone has been working and fully functioning on this network for a long time. You can give me access to it. You've updated your software and it's flagged my phone as saying, no, you can't use it. Not because it actually can't, but because you are frustrated that this company did not pay to have your HD voice so that it can be included within that. But you have somebody like me, right? I've paid a membership for the bring your own device, and I've done that for 10 years now. I've I've not been informed that only this specific set of devices will work on iPhones because you can bring your own device. Basically the only information that I was told is that you can bring an unlocked device as long as it works on these bands and this technology, you're good to go. Why would you allow my device to basically work for as long as it was, and basically, like, what do you gain from screwing me over? So the reason why I'm telling you this story is that you're not crazy if your phone just suddenly stops working. um, AT&T and Cricket are actively taking advantage of older people, and I've noticed, and I've seen, even during the I was in there for the store for about an hour while they were trying to figure out what the hell was going on. But the more that they disclosed to me, the more that I got an understanding of the situation that was going internally, whether they had that information or not. And I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm legitimately saying that they are actually utilizing very unethical ways for trying to push people to purchase things that they don't need, like a new device. For instance, I'll give you an example. This phone that they say is incompatible with their network because they chose to make it that way, I can take my phone, go to Verizon, which I am going to do, take the discount that I get from my job, get 15% off, pay maybe $40 for unlimited data at Verizon, and this phone will be back to working, no issue whatsoever with the same cell phone number. I just have to pay Verizon instead of them. Why are you telling me when I'm in the store, I need to purchase a new iPhone, that I should get on the payment plan to get this so that I can still continue to be on your network? That's not within my best interest. It makes no sense for me to spend 1,000, and that's talking on the low end of, like, I'm just getting the little 60 gigabyte iPhone, that 64 gigabyte one that I'm probably going to run out of storage in like 3 months and be mad that I didn't spend the extra 300 or 500 to get the 250 to 500 gigabyte model. That's trash, to stay on a very trash network. Not that I've ever had issues with the network, but the fact that they treated me like this, and the fact that I can't get service on, like randomly, that's like a problem. So what I'm saying to you, and the reason why I am making this video, is that, again, if you're having issues with your phone and you are on a Cricket device, go online, take a look at what their authorized devices are. If your phone is not on that authorized device list, it could be that you don't have HD voice certification, or at least the device itself through the company doesn't have it. You could take a look and see if it does or doesn't. Mine didn't pop up. I couldn't find anything associated with it. The reason for me of why I decided to go with Verizon is that I've seen an article after figuring out that basically my phone no longer works with them because they chose to make it that way. Verizon, eh, they are certified under Verizon, and they shouldn't have any issues under Verizon. And I believe that they will also get 5G LTE under Verizon, or the 5G. It's not LTE, 5G, whatever. Basically, very good signal service. I'm just ranting. Please don't hold me to any specific flaws that I'm saying, but I'm just very upset with how they approached me, how I felt like they tried to take advantage of me, and how I just spent, I think I got this phone on sale for $799 on the Amazon sale. This phone is not even a year old, and you're going to discontinue my service for nothing because you want me to purchase a phone that adheres to the guidelines that you make. And I'm going to speak with my wallet. I think that you should speak with your wallet. I think that AT&T as a company is a really crap company that they would do this, especially with people as loyal as us that have been there for decades. Some of us have been with them for over a decade through Cricket, through AT&T, whatever it is that you're under. But that's not cool, and that's not something that I think that I should leave unspoken. And I'm just throwing this out there. I'm putting this out in the world because it made me furious. It made me furious that I'm a working person. I don't necessarily have the all the time in the world to go and handle stuff like this. But I basically had to do a research into figuring out what the hell is going on with my phone because AT&T doesn't even have answers. And them saying, oh, it's not compatible with our network after it was compatible with our network is not an explanation. That is just not an explanation. You might sit up here and say like, oh, he told you straight up. That's not good enough when I've been on this network with these devices for 4 years. That's not an answer of you're incompatible. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense for you to say that to somebody. And I get it. He doesn't know. But your employees should be trained and paid enough to know. And it's unfortunate that I definitely know that they're not paid enough to, but shout out to the team that I went to today because she was able to call customer service, get some actual support, whereas the other dude really did not even like attempt. They gave me more information and I was able to deduce what was going on. But if you don't have the knowledge that, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, if you don't have knowledge of technology and understanding stuff like this and the different bands and technologies that these different companies use and being able to look up and try to figure out what's going on, whether the sim works or doesn't, you might not be as informed enough to not spend that $1,000 with AT&T, and they would be up $1,000 putting you on a payment plan, doing you a favor like, oh, it's $21 a month for 24 months. Like, shorty, like $21 for 24 months, like, actually, is it 21 times 10? That's kind of that. My math. Look, I ain't doing math right now. Whatever. I think it's probably more than that. I think, but whatever it ends out being, no. Sorry for ranting, but I just needed to get that off my chest.